Hello everyone. Today we are going to dive into one of the most popular JavaScript library used for building user interfaces. Yes, that is React. Where you are a beginner or have some experience in front-end development, understanding React is crucial in modern web development. What is React? React is an open source JavaScript library developed by Facebook in 2013. It's primarily used for building user interfaces, especially for single page application. What is single page application? It includes just a one single server, and its React allows developers to create large web applications that can update and render effectively in response to data changes. React is very helpful. Why use React? So, uh, there are several reasons why React is so popular. React is so powerful. It's component-based architecture. React encourages building encapsulated components that manages their own state, their composition, then to create complex units. Actually, if we want to um, do a counterpart in our web application, there is a small component for doing that part. Similarly, there are so many other parts too. So its component based architecture makes it so powerful. Then other is its declarative UA. React allows you to design views for each state in your application. There must, since in simple JavaScript there is only one constant variable can be given to a variable, but in React you can assign a state variable, and you can increment it, or you can change its state using set state. So we use states such as hooks. Some hooks use states and use effects, and it will efficiently update and render just the right components when your data changes. And other is its virtual DOM, which virtual DOM makes it so powerful. React uses a virtual DOM to improve performance. Instead of updating the entire real DOM every time something changes, React actually updates that single component, only that element that have been changed. We since rendering is the most expensive process, and it badly affect our the performance of our web application. So what React is doing is, if you want to update a single portion in our web application, it actually update that portion or re-render that portion only whenever it get modified. And let's move deep into the core concept in React. Since the core concept are components, the building block of a React application. Component can be class based or functional based and are used to define pieces of UI, user interface. Uh, it can be class based and function based. Then next is JSX. JSX is a syntax extension of JavaScript. Syntax extension of JavaScript that looks similar to HTML. It is used to describe what the UI should look like. We in JSX we can write HTML codes that is similar to HTML. Can be given to a component and elements. Element inside a bracket you can give the HTML components. Um, or in case of function, it is just a component is simply a function that consists of what Java symbol HTML. Next is props, short for properties. Properties are read-only inputs that are passed from child to from parent to child components. So you know, as I have said, components are the functional blocks. So in what the props are the properties that are passed from the parent to the child components. Next is state. State is a special object in React component that determines how the component renders and behaves. It is mutable. That is, once where somewhere we have changed it, it will change over time and triggers a re-rendering process. um, next is As I have said, functional and class components. So let's compare it, which is good. Class components is a traditional way of defining components with life cycle methods like component did mount, component did update. These are some life cycle methods. And on the other hand, functional components, these are simpler, and since the introduction of hooks, they can now manage states and side effects. Side effects use use effects and use states are there, making them the preferred choice for most developers. And the class components are traditionally not that preferred. And in let's then, as we have said, the hooks are so important. So what are hooks? Hooks are introduced in React 16.8, and they allows you to use state and other React features in the functional component. The most commonly used are use state and use effect. Use state allows you to add state to a functional component. So you can add a functional component. Since I have said, const in use states returns an object, returns an array. One is the local variable and the other is its functional component to set to modify the variable. Um, so within the use state, you can add a state to a functional component. Then use effect allows you to perform side effects in your components, such as fetching data from an API or updating the DOM. You can do that kind of things using use effect that perform side effects in your component. Then is use context. Use it for accessing context in a more convenient way. You can access some context. So building a then what? In order to apply this React, we have to import React and React DOM. And there is one in this UI. It will be so interesting that when we see our HTML code containing only one element with an idea of root, through the through this element having the ID root, we are actually implementing our React, our React user interface. And so let's talk about the React ecosystem. React doesn't work alone. It's a part of a large, huge ecosystem that includes tools like React Router. It's for handling routing in a single page application. And Redux, a state management library that are often used with React. It's a state management library. And is Next.js, next the a React framework for building server rendered or statically exported React apps. And create React app, a tool for setting up new React project without configuration overhead. We can use create React app. So Next.js is a React framework for server rendered or statically exported React apps. So React's future and community. React is continually evolving and with a stronger community and regular updates from the Facebook. New features like concurrent mode and server components are on the horizons. So promising to make React even more powerful and efficient. So let's conclude it. React is an incredibly powerful tool for building modern web applications. Its component-based architecture and its declarative nature and vibrant ecosystem make it must learn for any web developer. So when you are building a simple app or a complex single page application, React provides the tools you need to create fast, responsive, and manageable UX. So that's it. That's all about React. Thank you for listening.